In this video, I am going to talk about this particular question, which says that you are given a string S that consists of lowercase English letters, and you have to find the maximum difference between A1 and A2, where A1 is going to be the frequency of the character that is present odd number of times, and A2 is the frequency of the character that is present even number of times, and you have to return the maximum difference between them. Okay, so for example, you are given 5 A's and 2 B's and 1 C's. Okay, so see, since you have to return the maximum difference between A1 and A2, so A1 has to be as larger as possible and A2 has to be as smaller as possible. Then only we'll get the maximum difference. Okay, then only we will get the maximum difference. Okay, since you have to return the maximum difference between the frequency of character that is present odd number of times and the frequency of the character that is present even number of times. Okay, so see, A, which is present 5 number of times, so it can be counted in A1. Okay, so see, C1 is also present odd number of times, but since I have to return the maximum difference, I will always take this 5. Okay, because this is the maximum, I want the maximum A1. So A is present 5 times, which is maximum, so 5 minus A2 has to be some character which is present odd even number of times. So see, there is B which is present twice, so 5 minus 2 is going to be 3 as an output. And this is very simple question. So to solve this question, we are going to use the map which keeps track of the frequency. Okay, it is very simple question, by the way. So see, for example, if this is our string, so how many times A is present, I'm going to count it in my map. Okay, so I will declare an unordered map where the key part is going to be the character and the value part is going to be integer, because I'm going to store the frequency. Okay, and this is going to be character. Okay, for example, if this is A, so A is present 5 times, so A is going to store 5. Okay, B is present 4 times, so B is going to be store 4. C is going to be twice, so C will store 2 and D will store 1. Okay, so in this way you can create a map. Okay, since you have to return the maximum difference between the frequency which is present odd number of times minus the frequency of the character which is present even number of times. Okay, so the maximum odd number is going to be 5 minus the minimum even number is going to be 2, so it is going to be 3 in this question also. Okay, see, there are 2 even numbers, but you have to pick the minimum one to get the maximum difference. Since there are 2 characters which is present odd number of times, which is 5 and 1 times, so you have to take the maximum. So 5 minus 2 is going to be 3, so it is going to be your answer. Okay, so it is very easy to code. Okay, so first you have to declare an unordered map of character and integer MP and store the frequency for auto character in the string MP of C plus plus. Okay, now you have stored the frequency of the character which is present in the string, and now you have to move on and you have to count the maximum odd number and the minimum odd number. So int maximum odd, let's say it is going to be the minimum, so let's say initialize with the minimum number, so -1, and the minimum even, so let's say the minimum even number you want to initialize is going to be the maximum, so let's say int max. Okay, now you have to find the difference, so all the frequency which is stored in the map you have to find the maximum odd number and the minimum even number. So just go through this map for auto it belongs to map and find the frequency. So frequency is going to be it dot second, and now you have to maximize the odds. Now I have to check whether the frequency is even or odd. So let's check it. If the frequency is even, then you have to store the the minimum even number. So minimum even is going to be minimum of minimum even and frequency, and else the number is going to be odd, so the frequency is going to be odd, so store the maximum odd. Okay, so that is going to be the maximum of maximum odd and the frequency. Okay, now at the end of the day you will return the maximum odd minus minimum even. Now let's run it. Okay, so it is working fine. So if you will submit it, so it got submitted. So now let's talk about the time and the space complexity. So the time complexity of this problem, of this solution, is going to be big O of you are running for all the characters in the string, so n plus you are iterating the map. So in the worst case, since the string contains only lowercase English letters, there can be maximum 26 entries in the string, so it is going to be iterate maximum 26 times. Okay, so that's a big of n. Okay, and the space complexity is constant. Okay, because see, the number of characters are fixed, only 26 characters are present, and since we are storing the characters in the unordered map, so the character is going to be present only 26 times unique, so it is going to be the constant space. I hope you have understood the solution.